Welcome into the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Got an exciting show today, folks. Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals coming up in just a bit. But first, I want to tell you about an absolutely wonderful book that I got to read over the weekend. I know a lot of you out there are big fans of the mafioso, of organized crime, and today's book is no exception. It is an absolutely wonderful book about a man by the name of Greg Scarpa. New York mafioso and New York mafioso of the 50s, 60s, 70s is one of those stories that I think calls endless stories of fascination, wonder. It seems like you can get into those different families and the five boroughs, and you can bring stories forth that I think are hair-raising, spine-tingling, blood-curdling. And there are some personalities there that are absolutely psychopathic, sociopathic, and our guest today has found one of them that I know it'll peel your wig back, so to speak. It is one of those that when I got done reading, I went, wow, human beings like this exist on this planet. Let me introduce you to our guest today, and we'll get into it. We'll talk about Greg Scarpa today. Jonathan Dyer practiced law for a decade after serving in the Army as a Russian linguist during the Cold War. He switched careers in 1999 and for 21 years taught U.S. history, government, and criminal law. He's been writing for 30 years. Greg Scarpa, Legendary Evil is the book we're talking about today, and it is his first work of nonfiction. Let's welcome in to True Crime Tuesday, Jonathan Dyer. Mr. Dyer, sir, welcome in to True Crime Tuesday. Thanks. For the first time. Thank you.
Glad to be here.
You have put together, my friend, your first work of nonfiction, and boy, it is not only is it so well researched and puts together such a complete picture of Greg Scarpa that I think you couldn't put together not only such a complete picture of him, but a bone-chilling picture of a man that. You didn't go for, let's put it this way, you didn't go for a portrait of him that would make us want to love him. You didn't go for a portrait of him that would make him sympathetic. What was your aim with him when you set out to put out a portrait of him?
Well, I just wanted to try to peel back some of the layers of what I'd read about him and find out what was true and what is might have been rumor, would have been sort of accepted by people as fact, and try to figure out just exactly who this guy was to the extent I could. And so I didn't have any agenda in terms of trying to whitewash his character or to trash it. I just lay it out there in terms of exactly how I found it.
What separated, because we've heard quite a bit over the years about the different heads of the five families. Keep in mind, he's not a head of the five families. He was he was a soldier for lack of a better term for much of his career, barely made capo at the end of his career. But what separated him from most of the identities or some of the bigger identities in a lot of the five families? What made him special as opposed to some of the other big names or big identities in some of the five families in New York?
Well, the fact that he was an FBI informant for 25 of the last 30 years of his life, I think is pretty amazing. Amazing that he survived, amazing that he did it. And I think it separates him from most of the Goodfellows, buttonmen, capos, whoever that he ran around with. Now, some of them, there were other informants, but Scarpa was early on a very important informant for the FBI, and he provided information that was absolutely essential in a number of high-level prosecutions. And so I think that's where Greg Scarpa, at least on one level, is separated from his fellow mafiosi. On another level, I think his ruthlessness is, even in the context of the mafia, I think his ruthlessness is unparalleled.
Oh boy, you're opening up a can of worms here, Mr. Dyer. I'll tell you, here's I don't know which direction to go. We could go ruthless. We could go. We could talk about the fact of his duality, and I think they're kind of hand in hand, aren't they?
Yeah.
let's go duality first, and we'll go ruthless next. Ruthless is kind of the titillation of this whole deal, right?
Sure.
But his duality. Let's speak to his duality first, because duality not only plays in his professional life, but his personal life too. He really believed in kind of splitting the baby and right, so to speak. I mean, or splitting the apple and sharing, and not in a good way, right? I mean, sharing. He shared everything in his life, and we'll get to what exactly we mean by that in just a second here. But when you talk about professionally, loyalty to him was important, yet he had is it safe to say a twisted sense of loyalty? Because how do you remain loyal to La Cosa Nostra, yet say, you know what, you should be a good guy and give your information to the authorities? That to me is a twisted sense of loyalty.
Yeah, Tim, my conclusion after looking at this for a couple of years was Greg Scarpa was loyal to Greg Scarpa, and that was it. And he never kept a pledge that he made. He didn't keep his pledge to the Mafia. He didn't keep his pledge to his first wife. He didn't keep his pledge to a lot of people that worked with him and for him. So in my view, his loyalty, to the extent that he tried to parade it as being a classic Mafia loyalty, was a veneer. And he was loyal to Greg Scarpa and Greg Scarpa alone.
As I read the book, and I don't know, I guess maybe for me, I'm a little bit of a closet psychologist, right? So I sit and I read this book, and boy, you talk about a case study you can just dive into, Jonathan. You just sit there and go, man, oh man, you can sink your teeth into it. You've got so much here to dissect. You've got a classic psychopath, a sociopath, a narcissist, one that you wonder, even when he deals with his own children, if there's such a thing as love, if he even feels love. And then you look at the fact that he's a bigamist.
Yeah.
Tell us how many wives he ended up having?
Well, he was married twice, and married to two women at the same time, which qualifies him as a bigamist. And while he was married to the second woman, Lily DeJohnny, he was also living with Linda Shiro, who was, in sort of layman's terms, a common law wife. But as I point out in the book, there's no such thing as the common law of marriage in New York by the time Scarpa was around. So there were at least three women at one point that he had a very serious relationship with. Now, by the time that he was involved with Lily DeJohnny, he had moved his first wife, the mother of four of his children, to a farm in Lakewood, New Jersey. And they never got divorced. They were separated, but Scarpa spent time at that farm even after he was, for lack of a better term, shacking up with his mistress, and while he was married to this second woman. That marriage didn't last very long, but the fact that it was there at all was pretty stunning.
That's amazing. And the DeJohnny was she was well-to-do, well-off, had means, and essentially Scarpa took her from, and I'm trying to remember the gentleman's name, took her from another man. Almost like a prize, right? That's essentially, well, I like her. And took, if I remember right, took her from his son. Is that the story?
He took her. Well, she was involved with a doctor who she administered an abortion clinic for him in New York. Dr. Eliezer Shkolnik, I think is how you pronounce his name,
Mm-hmm.
and. She got involved with Scarpa, and the doctor didn't appreciate that. He was fixated with her. And to the extent that he was made the ill-advised move of saying, well, I'm going to get the IRS involved with Scarpa, or the FBI involved with Scarpa. And that was pretty much a line that he shouldn't have crossed, because it ended up costing him his life. And where his son comes in, where Greg Scarpa Jr. comes in on this story, is he and Joe Brewster, a longtime companion of Greg Scarpa Sr., he and Joe Brewster were the ones that carried out the assassination of Dr. Skolnick, and that was Greg Scarpa Jr.'s first murder.
Wow. I know we're jumping around a little bit here, Jonathan, but let's talk about his sons for a moment, because I found his relationship with his sons, his two sons, as absolutely abhorrent. Just you talk about a love of a father for a son, how you could, as a parent, say, you want the best for your son, right? Sure. You can imagine, you say, okay, well, I got to toughen my boy up a little bit. You don't want him to be out there on the street and not have some sort of a way to defend himself. If you could, though, can you tell us the story about, and I'm trying to remember if it was Greg or if it was Joey, which one it was, that got into the altercation, and he told him basically how to go out and handle it. Was it Greg? Yeah,
that was Greg when he was in high school. He got into a fight with, not an unusual thing in high school. And he came home with a lump on his head, and his dad Greg Sr. was asking him what had happened. And Greg Jr. said, look, it's no big deal. He got in a good lick. It was fair and square. And actually, Greg Jr. was pretty good with his hands. He did some Golden Glove boxing. And he said, just forget it, Dad. And his dad said, no, we're not forgetting it. When you go back to school tomorrow, I want you to put that boy in the hospital. And if you don't bother coming home. And, as Greg has mentioned on a few different occasions, not surprisingly, his dad was his world to him. So he did what his dad told him to do. And that was it for school for him at the age of 16. And that put him really on a path that he was probably headed for anyway, becoming a member of the Colombo family. But in my view, and, we all make our own choices and we have to be responsible for those. But in my view, Greg Jr. really had very little chance to go a life that wasn't very dark.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, at that point, he's expelled from school. And the only place he has to turn is a place called the Wimpy Boys Social Club. Right. Which is the place where his father hangs out. And the Wimpy Boys Social Club, essentially, as you describe in the book, is not known as a great place. It's known as a place where essentially all of Scarpa's crew hangs out. A lot of ne'er-do-wells hang out, and Greg's in that trap, and now he's essentially set for life, right? Yeah,
that is pretty much what happened. And these social clubs were all over Brooklyn at the time. I've seen a map of these various social clubs from various Mafia capos or Goodfellows and running their crews out of these social clubs. And the Wimpy Boys Club, which was ironically named, but it comes from, it used to be a gym. Mm-hmm. And the Wimpy Boys Club was where Greg Sr. had his office, and where his crew on a daily basis would have to report, get their assignments, that sort of thing. And then Greg Jr. definitely, after the incident at school, he fell into that, and he actually became a capo when his father was a Goodfellow. But Greg said, I knew better than to try to outrank my dad.
I have to think that may have been a little uncomfortable for a short time for him, to jump the old man, and yet, even though you outrank him, you still have to show the old man respect, because, he's a psychopath. He's a hair trigger, right?
Yeah, Greg said he's the meanest person he ever met, and so he knew it wouldn't go well if he crossed him in some way or overtly disrespected him. And so having that history with his dad, he knew better than to do anything like that. And my assumption is for Greg Sr., if it was anywhere, it was in the back of his head, like, I don't have to worry about Greg Jr. He's my son. He knows me. I got this wired.
Yeah, yeah. We talk about the fact that Scarpa has, well, I want to get to the other son, but I was going to jump back to the loyalty thing here, but you know what? I think I'm going to hold on to that for a second. I want to get to Joey for a second, because Joey's an interesting love, loyalty, yet tough love experiment all in himself too. Tell us a little bit about Joey and the fact how Greg treats him. I mean, he doesn't seem like he's any better of an experiment either in fathering.
Yeah, it's very similar to the way he brought Greg Jr. up. And there's that anecdote when Joey was about 5 years old and getting into an altercation with a playmate. And this is what 5-year-olds do, you know. And Greg, the story is that Greg gave him a bat and said, "I want you to clobber that kid." And, you know, Joey couldn't do it. And Joey did like most 5-year-olds did and ended up just playing with the kid again. Mm-hmm. And but that, even at the age of 5, these were the lessons that he was picking up on. And Joey was apparently fairly talented in terms of acrobatics, and used to show off at the Wimpy Boys Club, and the guys liked him to come down, and he liked to be part of that. And Joey eventually fell into what a lot of these guys fell into, and that is a world that was really heavily influenced by drugs. That happened to Greg Jr. too, in terms of cocaine, marijuana, which was a much bigger deal back then than it is now. And Joey had a pal, Patrick Porco, and he and his pal and some other guys got involved in a altercation that ended up in someone's death. And when Joey was about 19, and they went and hid out in Lakewood, New Jersey for a little while on their grandmother's farm, and then they came back, and Greg heard that his friend Patrick was going to go to the FBI or go to local law enforcement. This wouldn't be an FBI matter, but go to local law enforcement and pretty much confess, this is what happened. Joey Scarpa, I was with him. And when Greg found that out, he ordered Joey to kill his best friend, Patrick. And at first there was an attempt on Patrick's life by one of Scarpa's crew that didn't go right. And then Joey was ordered to kill Patrick, and he did. And just devastating, just absolutely devastating to think that. I mean, my dad told me to take out the trash.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And this is what your father's telling you. And Joey's life, very unfortunate. I think he was 23 when he himself was killed. And so I don't think Joey had much of a chance, the way I don't think Greg had much of a chance either. Yeah.
It didn't help to be a friend to Greg Scarpa either. I mean, it seems like the sphere of influence around Greg Scarpa is not much to be. I mean, it seemed like he had more loyalty to friends than he did to family. I mean, family got chewed up and spit out. I know he had a daughter too, little Linda, who at one point during his reign actually saved his life. We'll save that for the book. I want people to read that story because that's a very interesting story on how he essentially walks away unscathed. It's actually an amazing story, but essentially she saves his life. And that story in the book is an amazing story. But tell us a little bit about the consequences around little Linda. It's kind of an interesting story about little Linda and her circumstances.
Are you talking about when she was molested?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. She was. She went to Catholic high school, not too far from her house, but every day she and her brother would be picked up by a driver and taken to school. And one day Joey decided he was going to stay home. He wasn't feeling well. So the driver just picked up Linda. And as they were driving, he started pulling off into a route that she wasn't familiar with, and eventually pulled into a wooded area and tried to molest her. And Linda, of course, at first she was just shocked, but you got to credit her. She held her wits about her, and she kind of pushed him away and said, "Hey, we can do this later. Let's just meet up later." And the guy, a man named Jose Guzman, fell for that. Linda got to school, called her mom, told her what happened. And when Scarpa found out what happened, that was kind of the end for Jose Guzman. And at first, he got a really severe beating from some members of Scarpa's crew, and then eventually he was killed. And that was the go-to solution for Scarpa.
Yeah, and again, pick up the book, folks, because the way that Scarpa goes about it, it's detailed in the book. It's brutal. It is the lengths of which Greg goes to, and you find out that there's standards amongst his children. He holds the boys to one standard. He held Linda to another. But boy, you put your hands on his baby girl, and just like that, he's off to the races, and the depths of his depravity know no bounds. That's for sure.
I think that's accurate. Absolutely true. And your point about him treating his daughter different from his sons, he expected his sons to mete out the revenge, but he was going to do it for Linda, and he did.
Yeah. That's something else. That definitely is something else. I tell you what, Jonathan, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we'll talk about a couple of his friends and the loyalty that he has to his friends and whether they had any bounds. Some of them they did, some of them they didn't. And we'll talk about some of the weird boundaries he had with one of his friends. I think you know what I'm talking about there. When we come back, Greg Scarpa, Legendary Evil is the name of the book. The Many Faces of a Mafia Killer. And we have a link in the description of this program, so you can go get that book during the break. It is a wonderful book, folks. You want to talk about the framing of just how depraved some of these mafioso were in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and how this man, Greg Scarpa, was... Even though, again, he was never the head of a family, he was a soldier essentially. But boy, when you want to talk about getting down in the street and getting into the streets with some of these guys, and there was a war going on, a famous war at this time between two families, and we'll talk a little bit about that too, and maybe we'll talk about towards the end of the program here, Jonathan, about just how infamous it was, or famous or infamous some of the shots were in this war, because let's put it this way, if one of us as a bystander was running by, we might or might not get hit in this war. That's a little wink, nod, and a laugh. We'll talk about that as well, but you're talking about a guy who, let's face it, was ruthless, lethal, and not a guy you wanted to mess with. Who, let's just put it this way, had just as lethal of an end as he did a life. And maybe we'll get into
his end was pretty brutal. Yeah. And we can get to that after the break. Certainly.
Right. That's right. We'll talk about that with our guest, Jonathan Dyer, as well. Greg Scarpa, Legendary Evil. The Many Faces of a Mafia Killer is the name of the book. Get it during the break. When we come back, more of Jonathan Dyer right here on the Best in True Crime Podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. Welcome back to the Best in True Crime Podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. My guest is Jonathan Dyer. The name of the book, Greg Scarpa, Legendary Evil, The Many Faces of a Mafia Killer. It's a good one at that. And you want to talk about many faces. Greg Scarpa, boy, I don't know which face you would turn to talk to when you had to talk to this man. He was an FBI informant. He at one point, he's a soldier for the mob. The one question I have for you here, Jonathan, is this. He seems like he wants to aspire to be a capo. Eventually, late in his career, late in his life, he gets tagged. It almost seems like it's, would you say it's almost by proxy because of this war they're in later on in life? It's almost like, you know what, we're running out of soldiers. You're it. Is that a good way to put it?
Sort of. What happened was the two of his the guys that he did a lot of hunting with in the Third Colombo War, which is what you're talking about. Those two guys were associates. But during this war, they both got their buttons, it's called. They're both elevated to Goodfellow, so they're not associates anymore. And the Persico side of that conflict in the Third Colombo War wanted to keep that kill team together. In order to do that, they had to make Scarpa capo, and they could put these two guys into Scarpa's crew. Otherwise, they would have been assigned to another capo. So, I mean, it's sort of like a lifetime achievement award, you know, but it is one of the things that they were trying to achieve was that particular team keeping them together. You know, my research indicates that he was probably a capo under Joe Profaci in the late 50s, early 60s.
Okay.
And then when Profaci died, Scarpa expected to be reappointed as a capo. When Joe Colombo became the head of the family, and Gregory Scarpa Jr. has told me this in particular, Greg was one of Joe Colombo's really trusted lieutenants. And so he had this very close relationship with Colombo that made him, even though he's still just a button man, a good fellow, soldier, whatever you want to call it, made him more powerful than the capos in the family. So there was really no need for Scarpa to have the official title while Joe Colombo was still in charge of the family of capo because of his closeness to Colombo.
Interesting. You know, that's kind of an interesting thing that you don't hold rank, right? You would think that once you make rank, almost like the Army, because it seems like they're going by an Army-based system, right? You would think you would hold rank once you get there, but the fact that you can be knocked back down based on who's leading the family at the time, and you know, they have their own soldiers that they want to lead, so they put them up in the ranks where they want them, and then they can knock them down. You would almost think, almost like being made, right? You have somebody who's made. You figure that once they're made, right? You figure once you make capo, you make capo, right? But I guess it's not that way.
Yeah, I think that the point there is, and it's a good one that you make, is that when there's a new boss to the family, he has the privilege of naming his capos, the sort of mid-level management people. So I think it's fairly well understood. At least it was during the period that I'm researching. The Mafia may have different rules now. I'm not entirely sure, but the assumption was that the new boss gets to name his capos. And so that was not something that Scarpa thought was unusual, but he did expect to be renamed as a capo. And in fact, he was at first trying to ingratiate himself with Joe Magliocco, who he thought was going to succeed Profaci, but Magliocco was elderly. He was sick. He said, I'm out of it. And 6 months later, he died, actually. So Joe Colombo gets elevated. And at that point, Colombo gets the name as capos.
Now, to your knowledge, was it because anybody suspected him of being an informant, of being a rat?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just that Joe Colombo, with respect to Greg Scarpa in particular, had something different in mind for him, and that was this close personal relationship. Scarpa was still running his crew while he was, this guy was close to Colombo, but I think Colombo wanted Scarpa and a few others close to him, irrespective of their rank, and to provide him with that sort of small group of advisors, protectors, and Scarpa was part of that. The first time that I see in any of the documents that somebody suspected Scarpa of being an informant was Carlo Gambino in 1972 warned his men. He said, "Stay away from Scarpa. He's got a big mouth," and nothing else came of that. And nobody said like, "Oh, okay, well, if he's an informant, then we need to do something about it." But there were other moments when people suspected Scarpa of being an informant when he would get a very light sentence or a very light treatment for an offense that someone else went to prison for. Yeah. And that's a red flag.
Yeah, he skated a lot in his career. I mean, there maybe too much, you know, and I'm surprised that a lot of the wise guys around him didn't realize that, you know, this guy is for his little as he's been tagged, there's something's going on here, right?
Yeah, he spent 30 days in jail from 1962 until he was finally incarcerated at the end of 1992, early 1993. 30 days. And in all those times, multiple killings, hijackings, well, whatever you want to, just line up in terms of this criminal activity. And, I think it's one of those things that some of the guys that were close to him, they were just so loyal to him that they just didn't imagine that this guy could be an FBI informant. I mean, he was so brutal. He was so sort of the archetypal mafia tough guy that it just was unimaginable to them that he would also be an FBI informant.
One of those ride or die guys was Joe Brewster, who talk about, there for every step of the way, best man at Brewster's wedding. Tell us a little bit about Joe Brewster and why his story is such a sad one. Why is it that he's so loyal to Scarpa, yet Scarpa seems like he's this double-edged sword when it comes to how he handles Brewster?
Yeah, they've been pals for a long time, going back at least to the early 1960s, and they were involved in that cockamamie stock counterfeit scheme that I outlined in the book. And Joe was a proficient bank burglar, an absolute expert at bank burglars. And these guys were pulling off a lot of bank burglaries in the New York area for a long time. And Joe, as he was always close to Scarpa, but the word was that Joe was pulling bank jobs and not giving Scarpa a cut, which Scarpa felt he was entitled to. And then we see some other sort of language coming in about Joe's a born-again Christian. He's not going to kill anymore. Joe's got a girlfriend who's telling him, you need to leave this life. And Joe's drinking heavily. And I tend to come down on the side, as I point out in the book, that Larry Mazza came down on, and that is that it was Joe's demise was a result of Greg's perception of Joe's greed, and then that clashing with Greg's greed. And that makes a lot of sense to me. That I think, as I've mentioned before, Scarpa's main loyalty to himself was his main loyalty, and his only love was love of money. And you messed with Scarpa's money at your peril.
Yeah.
And I think that's what probably was the cause of Greg Scarpa ordering the killing of his very longtime good friend, a guy he said, he's like a son to me. And this is not how you treat your son.
No.
And he was, there's a little bit in the record about some brief remorse that he had, but he was pretty much blaming Brewster's demise on Brewster rather than saying, I ordered someone to shoot him. And he ordered his actual son to shoot him, Gregory Jr., who killed Joe Brewster.
Isn't that something? I mean, you talk about a betrayal on top of a betrayal, right? I mean,
right.
Send your own flesh and blood to kill a guy you consider your son. I mean, and the level of depravity you have to get to, Jonathan, to get to that point, and be able to go home and sleep at night is just,
one of the interesting things in the FBI documents, Tim, is when the day after Brewster's murder, he reports to his handler, and the entry that the FBI handler made is almost banal. And Scarpa, of course, just says Brewster was killed. He doesn't say I killed him or I ordered him killed or my son killed him. He just reports that Brewster was killed, and then he reports a few other things, like, the price of eggs and, hey, how are the Mets doing? And it's not quite that bad, but it's close to that it's amazing that this is the day after Brewster's murder that he can carry on like that with someone that he considered to be like a son to him. I mean, the rest of us, if our child were harmed in that way, we would be distraught and unable to even function, let alone tell the FBI this, that, and the next thing.
You do an excellent job of pointing out that the one thing, though, that Scarpa did care about, he truly cared about, was money. I mean, it was, if it was a fake credit card scheme, as you were pointing out, the IBM certificate scheme, whatever it was that he was running, whatever scam he had going, purchasing jewelry on fake credit cards, whatever it was, if it involved money, boy, his heart was all in it, or the gambling scheme towards the end of his life, getting money, he insisting on running things from his kitchen table and having that money come in and him being in control. That was his passion, but get him to be passionate about anything else, you had a problem, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And in fact, early in the FBI documents, it's really interesting how he manipulates the FBI. And he says, gee, I'm thinking of retiring. He's about 34 years old at the time. I'm thinking of retiring. I got to get out of this life. But if I could get $3,500 from you guys, I could pay off these debts and I could give you whatever you want in terms of information. And that's just, the FBI was constantly bamboozled by it, frankly. And it really is a remarkable story. This guy who barely had a high school education was constantly fooling a building full of college-educated people whose job was to ferret out crime. And so that initial contact, or it's a very early contact with the FBI, when they really didn't know that much about the Mafia, they didn't know that you don't really retire from the Mafia. And Scarpa saying, I'm thinking of putting in my, for my retirement, my pension. And, the only way you retire from the Mafia, certainly back then, was in a box.
Yeah.
You didn't walk away.
Yeah.
So that's pretty early on in that relationship, and that's consistent throughout. So yeah, money, and even his son said that's what he loves, money.
That's insane. Another guy who had the strangest loyalty to of all, and you mentioned him earlier, was Larry Mazza. I have never heard of anyone with such a strange loyalty, at least up until the end, as the arrangement he had with Larry Mazza. And most wise guys, had they made the arrangement that these two had, they wouldn't have made this arrangement. Larry Mazza would have been dead on the floor had any other wise guy found out what had been happening. Can you set up for us what had gone on between Greg, his wife, and eventually Larry Mazza that would have most people shaking their heads?
Yeah, Greg was living with and having children with Linda Shiro. And Linda actually took the name of this guy, Charlie Shiro, because she wanted to have children in a marriage. She didn't want to have Greg's children out of a marriage. And she had this, compunction about that. So she married Charlie Shiro and then was sleeping with Greg and giving birth to his children. And then fast forward to about the late 1970s, and Linda Shiro spots Larry Mazza as a store grocery clerk. And she decides that she wants to go to bed with him. And she asks Greg for permission. And Greg's response is essentially, whatever makes you happy, Linda. And so she and Larry start this fairly torrid affair. And Larry at first had really no idea who Linda's, husband or who Greg Scarpa was. Mm-hmm. And as Larry said, I just thought he was some schlub who wasn't packing enough heat to satisfy his wife. And eventually that relationship between the three of them blossoms into Larry becoming a member of Greg's crew. And at one point, Greg says, hey, Larry, come down to the office early. And Larry thinks he's going to get killed because Greg's found out. And, I don't want to too many spoiler alerts here, but
right.
That's a very tense moment, as one might imagine.
Oh, yeah.
But the loyalty that Larry showed to Greg Scarpa continued right up until the moment when Larry was in the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan. He'd been arrested. And he found out that Greg Scarpa told a judge in open court, a federal judge, that he had been an FBI informant for many, many years. And Larry didn't believe it at first. And they had to show him the newspaper the next day. And so Larry's loyalty was unshakable for over a dozen years.
What surprises me is that other than, I believe was it Greg or was it Joey he told that he was an FBI informant when they were very young? That was it.
Yeah, he told Greg.
He told Greg.
And he told Greg's sister, at least Debbie. Maybe he might have told some other of his children, but the way he framed it was that I do these special missions for the FBI, and I'm like Superman, or I'm like James Bond. Sorry, that's what he said. I'm like James Bond. I do these special missions for the government. So the way he framed it wasn't, I'm ratting out all my friends and everybody you know, and I'm doing it for money. He framed it in a different way, and he was their dad, and they bought it, and so.
Because wasn't he involved with I mean, most people have seen the movie Mississippi Burning. Wasn't he involved in those cases?
Yeah, he was. There are 3 Mississippi cases that are alleged to have been things that Greg Scarpa had a hand in. And as I go through in the book, I kind of set aside the murder of Medgar Evers. I don't think he had anything to do with solving that. I think, and the word I use is he probably was involved in the location of the bodies of the 3 civil rights workers. Very famous case in 1964. Linda Shiro has been pretty consistent over the years in terms of talking about going down to Mississippi, what happened there. And then it looks pretty clear that he was involved in solving the murder of Vernon Dahmer. And one of the interesting things about all that is the murder of Vernon Dahmer was involved this guy, Lawrence Bird, who was an appliance store owner. And that appliance store owner has bled into the other 2 stories. So it gives the impression that if you really want to know what white supremacists are up to in Mississippi, you go to the appliance store owner. But as far as I can tell, there was only one appliance store owner involved, and that was Lawrence Bird. And he actually, at trial, tried to get his confession thrown out, saying that he was under duress. He confessed as a result of beatings, tortures, yada yada yada. The trial court allowed it in. The issue didn't get raised on appeal again in front of the Mississippi Supreme Court. They just mentioned it, and they said that the trial court allowed it in. But so that sounds like Scarpa.
Yeah.
I think he was probably involved in that one too.
Probably. But isn't that something? I mean, but I guess my point being this, and that's this, Jonathan, is you have this guy who tells children, I'm like Superman. Somehow the secret stays for years. Doesn't get out to any of the 5 families. He never even gets threatened. And gets light sentences, and nobody figures this out.
Yeah, there are a couple of people that paid dearly for even suggesting it. One was a guy named Donnie Soma, and Greg brought him into the office. He said, "What's this here? I hear, Donnie, about you calling me a rat, telling people I'm a rat." And Soma got very nervous. He said, "Oh, there's nothing to that, Greg. I had a few drinks, and you know how it is with the guys." And so Greg said, "You got paperwork." That's kind of the standard form. You got paperwork. In other words, you got any proof of that? And Soma once again tried to say, "Look, this isn't a big deal, Greg." And Greg pulled out a revolver and killed him in his office. And then there was another guy during the Colombo War who was shot, and Larry Lamps. And the story behind his killing was, at least in part, that a friend of his owed Scarpa some money. And so Larry sent Scarpa a note and pretty much said, "You're not getting any more money from this guy. And I know what you're doing, and you're a rat, and I'm going to let everybody know if you go after this guy for the extra money." And that had a role, and maybe a large role, in the end of Larry's life.
Mm-hmm. I'm astonished at how just how this guy played both sides of the fence for so long. It's normally wise guys aren't that skilled to be able to do that for that long. Normally they have to get him out of there, and they have to, put him in witness protection. They got to send him off somewhere. They got to live a life of anonymity somewhere, I mean, it's normally how it's done.
Yeah. And, not only was he an informant for 25 or 30 years, but he was a key informant. He informed on Joe Colombo Sr. and Joe Colombo Jr., and his information that he gave to the FBI led to the arrest of both of them. And you may remember this, during the 1980s, Rudy Giuliani was looking to bust the Mafia in Manhattan. And there's a Senate report about both of those cases. One was called 5 Star and the other was called StarQuest. And the Senate report pretty much almost word for word mimics something that was in one of the FBI files, and that is, without naming Scarpa, but this is attributed to Scarpa, that the information that he provided led to something like 60 different wiretaps that were absolutely essential to the prosecution of these guys. So, I mean, he wasn't just saying, Joey knocked over a 5 and dime last night. Mm-hmm. The 5 Star prosecution was of the 5 heads of the families. These were big, successful prosecutions that Scarpa had an important hand in. So, again, I'm almost as incredulous as you that somehow this continued to just go under the radar.
Yeah. It's fascinating stuff. So before we leave people today, because I want to leave a lot of meat on the bone here, for people here, Jonathan. The way that he meets his end, and again, I want to leave, like I said, I want to leave a lot on the bone. I want people to see how everything plays out with him at the end, because it's such an interesting ending to his life. There's really a lot there that people need to see as to how this story ends. But it's not giving too much away to say how he met his end. It's quite interesting because it's not in a hail of bullets. It's not a betrayal. It's not, it's not the police finally, saying, we're taking you in. It's if anything, it's pain and vices.
Yeah, it was ugly. Clearly, the slow decline that happened that you're talking about, and that that in that particular era, what happened to Scarpa, there was still a lot of ignorance about what was going on with what he had and what he was dealing with, and it actually caused him to feel that people were judging him, mm-hmm. and lumping him with a group of other people that he did not want to be lumped with. And then, I think one of the amazing things is that this disease that he really contracted in 1986, and he didn't die until 1994.
Yeah.
And all the while, certainly in the 1990s, people are saying, "Oh, he's got 4 months to live. His T cell count is so bad, he's got 2 months. He won't be here next year, so don't worry about it. Let's put an ankle bracelet on him. It'll be okay," because he's suffering so badly. But he fooled them all.
Yeah, and boy, he was. There's something too, Jonathan, about people who are bitter, angry, have something to hold on for, whether it be selfish or not. If they're here to the bitter end for some reason, boy, they'll hang on to the bitter end for some reason. And he just seemed like one of those
the bitter end and beyond, frankly.
Yeah.
Because what he was going through would have killed other people, months, maybe years earlier.
Yeah, and you'll find out in the book why he wanted to hold on, and between you and I'm still trying to figure it out. I really am. Yeah. I'm still trying to figure it out, because when you look at this guy, he wasn't holding on for family. He wasn't holding on for his wife. He wasn't holding on for, or his common law wife. You and I would, as regular people, we would hold on for loved ones. We would hold on for, we would hold on for the things that ground us, esoterically, spiritually, whatever it is.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that in his soul. He doesn't have that in his heart. You could say he doesn't have a heart.
Yeah, I think he was holding on for what he always held on for, and that was for Greg Scarpa.
Wow. It's you put together one amazing book here, my friend. It's if you ever want just a roadmap of what a psychopathic, sociopathic, narcissistic killer looks like, and what kind of swath of damage you can do over decades. I mean, this is it. This is what the roadmap looks like, and what you can do to damage people's lives throughout, and how it essentially ends up. What the ending looks like.
Yeah, nicely put, Tim.
Yeah, it's a fascinating case study. The name of what's that?
I'm glad you like it. I really am.
I absolutely enjoyed it. Absolutely enjoyed it.
Great.
Greg Scarpa, Legendary Evil, The Many Faces of a Mafia Killer is out right now by Wild Blue Press. We have a link in the description of this program, so you can go get that book. So, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to go do so. Jonathan Dyer, I want to thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure, Jim. Thanks very much for having me.
Thank you for being with us. Folks, it's time now for us to lighten things up a little bit. It's time now for us to go grab Jessica Freeberg, and it's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's that time again. The time you've all been looking forward to. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. And with that, we bring in our co-hostess, who I hear took a slight detour today. Because it is the first day. You might notice I'm wearing, if you're watching video, I'm wearing my Vikings sweatshirt. It's the first day of Vikings training camp. So I hear she filed a special report. She went out to Egan. She took her pad and pen, went out there, and instead of writing a paranormal tome today, she went out and filed a report and wrote a 300-page tome on how the Vikings may potentially be a fourth-place team this year. That's and now it'll be the bestseller on the Hindustan Times sports page. That's what I hear.
Actually, Tim, they invited me to join the team.
Did they?
Yeah. They thought I would be a great running back. I don't know.
So there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, now you're all pro running back for the Minnesota Vikings. Here she is, witty, intelligent, and damn quick, Jessica Freeberg. Jessica, how you doing?
So fast you can't even see me coming.
That's right.
Flash.
You said it, not me.
Oh, it's already started, folks.
Yeah, it is. I saw a video of J.J. McCarthy walking in today, and he looks optimistic.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta be. You're on the Vikings.
He looks wide-eyed and bushy-tailed. Well, he got all of, 4 or 5 snaps before he snapped his knee in his rookie season, so.
Yeah, it's so sad. I saw a documentary, was it last week or a couple weeks ago? It's on YouTube, and it was all about how Minnesota is the losingest state, like in terms of longevity, as many as we've lost in all of our sports, cumulatively, not just football, like everything. We just can't seem to win anything.
We're the Charlie Brown of major sports.
Yeah, it's really sad.
If it weren't for our ladies, we would be in a major drought. The Minnesota Lynx continue to win major championships. And the Frost.
Go girls.
Yeah, the Frost just won a major championship in the WNHL.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. But if it weren't for our ladies' hockey and basketball franchises, we would be screwed.
Yeah, leave it to the ladies to carry us on.
That's right. That's right. Someone's got to have balls in this state, and it's our women. Just saying. So. Lord knows the men don't have any.
They're all frozen off.
That's
too
right.
cold.
They're frozen off. They can't. There's nothing swinging between those legs. I'll tell you that much.
It's like that dog in Joe Dirt. Do you remember that one where his balls froze to the front porch?
Yeah, yeah. That's us here in Minnesota.
That's us.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens this year. I know nothing.
I'm optimistic. I'm always optimistic.
I try, but I've already given up on the Twins. I gave up on them at the All-Star, before the All-Star break. Yeah. So they're done. They're over. You can have a tiny bit for the Timberwolves. I mean, they got sold before the sale was done before the season here in the summer, before the summer league got going. So
yeah, that could be good.
yeah, that could be, and they're already talking big, like they want a new stadium and all that other stuff, and they're talking about potentially privately funding it.
Ooh.
Yeah, that could be fun. And they're talking about new ways of ticketing and all that other stuff. So that's kind of fun. We got a major sports star who owns the Timberwolves, half owns the Timberwolves, Alex Rodriguez.
Yes, that is
time,
very exciting.
Big time Yankee. He knows what it's like to date J-Lo. I don't know what that has to do with the price of tea in China.
That's the important thing right there.
Yeah, right?
Was that post P. Diddy?
Yes, it was. Yeah. He was, Boy, he was even post the singer. The
one she has kids with.
Yeah. Mark.
I can see his face. Mark Anthony.
Mark Anthony. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mark Anthony. Yeah, boy, when you're post Mark Anthony, you got issues. Yeah.
He's like the antithesis of Mark Anthony, though, honestly.
Well, he is. Yeah, he's
right.
He's like
Mark Anthony is kind of like a squirrely, artistic singer dude, and then he's like the opposite.
Yeah, he's like a small squirrel. Alex Rodriguez is like 6'4", 6'5", built.
Yeah.
She's got weird taste in men. They're either movie star, sports star, good looks, or you know what? I'll go for that weird guy in the corner over there.
She's all over the place.
Yeah. It's almost
must be a personality thing, though. I think for women, like we tend to be attracted to like funny, charismatic personalities. Like that actually makes someone more attractive physically to us. So maybe Mark Anthony's a really funny dude, and we just don't know it.
Boy, he better be. He's got something going for him. I mean, besides his voice, right? There's something going on there.
Yeah, which I assume is good. I can't think of anything he sings. I'm sure I know. I just don't remember.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of Spanish language stuff he does. It's good. So
yeah. It's not in my 80s repertoire. So.
Yeah. So there's that. Well, boy, Jess, I'll tell you, we're back. As far as Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals, we have, we're back to Lewd, Nude, and Crude Week here on the program. Not on purpose. It's just, people are, we're post fourth and we're into the summer and people are crazy from the
summer. Everyone's streaking, Tim.
That's right.
What are you going to do?
They're all streaking for the quad or to the quad. That's the attitude, I guess. And with that, our listeners are also sending us some pretty bizarre stories.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So
keep them coming, guys.
That's right.
And gals.
This first one comes from Raul. It's not so much humorous as it is just kind of a type of story. kids, think about this the next time you ask for something from Santa for Christmas. This isn't exactly the gift you're going to want. A human skin teddy bear at a California bus stop leads to an arrest.
What?
Yeah.
Ew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the gift that keeps on giving, I guess, right?
It's real leather right there.
Yeah, it is. The San Bernardino County coroner investigators confirmed that the macabre bear was in fact a toy that contained no human tissue. Well, how could it contain no human tissue if it was a human skin bear? Let's find out. Sheriff's deputies arrested an alleged prankster on Monday and accused him of planting a creepy teddy bear that looked like it was made of bloody human tissue, officials said. 23-year-old Hector Corona Villanueva was booked on suspicion of causing a needless emergency response and planting phony evidence, according to a San Bernardino County Sheriff's statement. The macabre scene unfolded in the Mojave Desert city of Victorville at a bus stop near a gas station on Bear Valley Road, about 85 miles northeast of downtown Los Angeles and 150 miles southwest of the Nevada state line. A doll that was possibly made of human skin was found a little bit after noon on Sunday, according to a coroner's statement. A deputy coroner investigator determined that the doll was made of a fabricated material and was not of human origin. Whew.
Well, thank goodness.
Yeah. Before a forensic pathologist also confirmed that the object was not human and contained no human tissue. Well, whew.
Wow, it looked so real, though, that they had to bring in forensics. That's amazing.
Yeah. That's pretty good artwork. Our investigation found these dolls being sold on a website with the claim that the dolls are made of human skin, the coroner said. The suspect, who lives in Victorville, took up precious first responder time, officials said. Incidents such as this take up valuable emergency resources and put the public at risk, possibly delaying response time to legitimate calls for service, according to the Sheriff's Department. Oh my God, Jess, I have a picture of this. Are you ready for this?
Wait, let me get my glasses on.
These are called dark seed creations. This is what they look like.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Can you imagine the kids asking for that for Christmas?
No. And what's more disturbing is people think that they're made with real human skin and they're buying them on purpose.
Yeah, they are.
That's disgusting.
Isn't that fun? Huh?
No, it's really not. That's nightmare fuel.
Yeah, it is. That's it looks
that
like
should be the next Ted movie.
It looks like it's made out of pigskin. I mean, pigskin toys that you get for dogs? Like PetSmart? Like, I don't know if you get them for Phoebe Buffet, but yeah. I mean, that's essentially what it looks like.
Yikes.
Robert Kelly of Dark Seed Creations said he made the bear and confirmed to NBC News on Tuesday that he sold it via the e-commerce platform to Etsy, on the e-commerce, I'll get this right, the e-commerce platform Etsy to Villanueva in Victorville. The creepy teddy bear was reported to authorities by both a customer and employee of the gas station, a sheriff's spokesperson said. The buyer, Villanueva, did not call in his own alleged prank, officials said. Well, then who did it for him? Kelly has made dozens of these teddy bears over 2 decades, and when pictures of the Victorville teddy bear started circulating on Sunday, Kelly said he knew instantly that it was one of his own creations. I made the order, put it in the box, sent it out, and according to tracking, it was delivered to Victorville on the 12th, Kelly told NBC News. And then on the 13th, last night, I started getting all kinds of messages. Kelly, a longtime fan of the Hellraiser director Clive Barker, said his products are made of latex, and he has tinkered with various dyes to replicate the appearance of human skin. We've put skin on everything from guitars and teddy bears to couches. Oh, can you imagine sitting on a couch like that?
No, that's so nasty.
Ew. A human skin replica couch? Holy Ed Gein,
That's
Batman.
a lot of human skin, too, for a couch.
Yeah. Kelly, whose primary clients are haunted attractions, novelty stores, and his Etsy store, says we use latex live castings. So we take live castings of actual human models, which adds to the reality of the item. Yeah. Well, thank you.
I'm going to pass on that, Tim.
Yeah.
No thanks.
No. Nope.
I like my teddy bears fluffy,
Yeah. Fluffy.
not fleshy.
Yeah, no. Fleshy. No.
No.
Yuck. Let's move
I
on.
have one made of my grandpa's favorite shirt, and I love that, but I can't imagine it, having one made of grandpa.
Oh, no. No, that'd be bizarre to have his face hanging off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's pretty popular. We had that done too. We did that for my stepsister with my stepdad's old clothes. We had a teddy bear made up of his old clothes.
It's sweet.
Yeah. But yeah, you just you don't no.
No, you got grandpa's tat like on the bear from his forearm.
Yeah, no.
Nope.
That's one toke over the line, sweet Jesus. That's a little too, a little too bizarre. Okay, I gotta go down a different road here because I almost need the palate cleanser now. I almost need to jump to the end of the program. It's almost, it's almost too harsh of a start today. Let's go to the next story. A man refused to climb down from a homeowner's roof because he believed drugs were in the chimney. Well, that's a good way to smoke them, right? I mean, you just kind of get that full blast, right?
Very efficient.
Yeah, right. Get that full blast right in the face. We go to Bangor, Maine. Banger, you brought her. That's the slogan in Maine, Jess. It's right there on the city sign as you drive in.
Banger, you brought her.
Banger, you brought her. It's right there on the sign as you drive in. I'm sure somebody will email me from Maine and say, no, it's not. It's not on the sign.
Well, you have to road trip and spray paint it on there, Tim.
That's right. I'm gonna have a new sign made up. Put it up personally.
We get arrested.
Yes, I will. A man was taken into police custody after officials said he refused to get off a homeowner's roof. Well, if you can't get off on a homeowner's roof, where can you get off? That's my no. Members of the Bangor Police and Fire Department make the rounds, why not? As well as crisis negotiators were on the scene of an incident on 14th Street on Wednesday morning. According to police, 39-year-old, boy, you're really way too old to be on somebody's roof if you're 39 years old and doing this stuff. Stephen Nason climbed onto a roof and refused to come down. The homeowner told WABI she and her boyfriend began hearing something on the roof at about 4 a.m. 4 a.m. Not only is he up,
it's too early.
He's either up way too late or up way too early to be doing drugs on somebody's roof.
Yeah. And I would immediately think it was like some sort of a monster or something.
Oh, I'd just be pissed. If it's
there's totally got to be a shapeshifter on my roof. There's no way it's a person.
At that point, I'm grabbing my bat and I'm going out there to take practice at 4 a.m. if someone's up on my roof. They then went back to the back deck and saw a ladder up against the back of the home. See, if there's a ladder up against the back of my home, I'm climbing, I'm swinging.
Yeah.
Yeah, at 4 a.m. They said that's when they saw Nason on the roof, although they never saw Nason before. When they asked him what he was doing, they said he yelled down to them that he was trying to retrieve drugs out of the chimney.
Oh, carry on then.
You're right. Yeah. Did my chimney come with drugs to begin with? I mean, was it built in with the masonry? How do you know there's drugs in my chimney?
your chimney needs an intervention.
Right.
It has a problem.
It does, yeah. My chimney's been buying drugs when I haven't been home, I guess. I don't know. It does have a problem. Oh, that chimney. I really should keep a better eye on it. They called police, and when Bangor Fire and police responded to the fire department put a basket up near the roof. Maybe because they wanted some of those drugs. The bigger the basket, the more drugs they'll put in it, I guess. I don't know, depending on how much the chimney's holding.
Right.
Right. The resident's boyfriend said Nason then jumped from the roof to the basket, grabbed the axe that was attached to it, and jumped back on the roof. Surprise! Whenever you give a guy looking for drugs an axe, he'll use it.
Don't let him have one.
What a
bad idea.
What a horrible idea. Send a weapon up to the roof. For what reason?
Yeah, that's just asking for trouble.
Yep. He jumped from our roof to the basket, retrieved the axe, and then proceeded to chop holes in our roof, Peter Raridan, who lives at the home, said. He chopped holes in the roof, Jess. Bangor Fire Chief Jeffrey Lowe told WABI they used the basket as an attempt to treat someone in crisis with dignity and respect, but the plan went south. We wouldn't have expected that, he said. It's nothing we would pre-plan. We certainly don't train for that. It happened. Yeah, it was an unexpected consequence of trying to do something good for him.
What did you think was going to happen? He's clearly on drugs.
Yeah, he's looking for drugs in a chimney. Do you think he's stable?
He's high as a kite, and you're just going to send him up an axe?
Yeah. Hey, you know what'll happen, or what'll help him with getting those drugs out of the chimney? An axe. Why don't we send him up an axe? Yeah. While we're at it, why don't we send him up one of them long tong thingies with the trigger so he can reach down in there and grab them?
That'd be a better choice. But yeah, I mean, I think his dignity went out the window when he climbed on some random person's roof, drug seeking in their chimney.
Why don't you hand him a shotgun too and see what he does with it? Bangor police call the incident abnormal. That's a good way of describing it. And the fact that it went on as long as it did, but dealing with people in crisis is a regular part of the job. We look at the people on the street right now that people will call concerned about, and there is help for everyone out there if they are willing to accept it. People can make bad decisions, they said. We can't make them accept assistance if they don't want it, said Sergeant Jason McAmbley of the Bangor Police Department. Police said Nason was taken into custody at around 11:30 a.m. after surrendering. He was up there for 7.5 hours, Jess. Holding everyone hostage with an axe.
Oh, I'd be so mad if that was my house.
He was then sent to a local hospital for physical and mental health evaluation. Nason has been charged with aggravated criminal mischief, creating a police standoff, and violating probation. Nason is now in Penobscot County Jail, awaiting his first court appearance. The only reason I like reading that story, to say the word Penobscot. I don't get to say it very often.
It was a fun one.
Penobscot. We're going to go from Maine to Vermont because it's just that time of year. It's just a beautiful time of year in the Northeast. We go to Vermont, where a Vermont man was arrested in Rockland. Actually, I think we're going to West Virginia here for an OUI, or operating under the influence, after following a woman and hitting a police cruiser. 29-year-old Tilford Tillman, which is the most creative name we could come up with today, allegedly followed a woman into the Rockland Police Department parking lot on Wednesday after where he struck a parked police cruiser. So doing a little bit of stalking, and whoops, hits a police cruiser while drunk.
Whoopsie doops.
Whoopsie doops times 3. Oh, no, we're still in Maine. We're in Rockland, Maine. So we're in Maine.
Okay.
Yeah. Rockland police arrested a Vermont man Wednesday for allegedly driving under the influence after he followed a woman and crashed into a police cruiser, according to a social media post from the department. Police received reports that a woman was being followed by an erratic car just before 1 p.m. So, middle of the afternoon, get your drink on, go follow a woman around, right?
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yes, further that way over the ocean. Sure is. But, 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday. Boy, you have to be a nice tinge of alcoholic to be getting your swoosh on a Wednesday at 1 o'clock.
Midweek, midday,
midday, and then going out looking to pursue the opposite sex.
Time to get drunk and stalk a lady.
That's
obviously.
Right. Hunt and pelt at 1 p.m. in the afternoon on a Wednesday. Interesting.
He's looking at his calendar. Oh, okay.
All right. Now's as good a time as any.
Go hunting.
Right. Hunt and pelt. Yep. That's an odd way to put it, but I know, folks. Just bear with me. It's been a long weekend. At the time of the call, the woman said she was pulling into the Rockland Police Department parking lot where officers came out to assist her because obviously she wasn't game for what he was putting down. The vehicle had reportedly followed the woman and struck a parked, unoccupied police cruiser before fleeing the scene because he wasn't going to stick around after all that nonsense. Officers later located the car and its driver, identified as 29-year-old Tilford Tillman, who is allegedly under the influence of alcohol. Police arrested Tillman for an OUI and additionally charged him with refusing to submit to an arrest or detention, leaving the scene of an accident and driving to endanger. So, he got the full gamut.
He did lots of bad things and he got in trouble.
Yes, he did. He got everything he deserved and then some. Our next story, just the saying goes, never bring a knife to a gunfight.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say with this one, this is the one that takes place in, I believe, West Virginia. Or no, in Virginia, not West Virginia. Our next story's moral to the story would be this: never bring a crossbow to a gunfight, especially with police. It just never works out very well. A Woodbridge, Virginia man armed with a crossbow near Potomac Mills was shot and killed by police after he thought the crossbow would be more than enough. You just can't hold off police with a crossbow. This isn't the 1100s. For some reason,
no.
They,
or the Hunger Games.
Or the Hunger Games, right. You can't say, "Ye old Sheriff of Nottingham, ye shall stay over there." And then they happen to just stay over in the corner while you abscond away and make your escape. It doesn't happen that way. You can't just take your...
Usually not, no.
You can't take your goods from Walmart and head off. It just doesn't happen that way. We go to Prince William County, Virginia, where police shot and killed a man they said would brandished a gun at strangers and later ran toward the Potomac Mills Mall armed with a crossbow. What happened to the gun he had? At what point do you throw the gun and take the crossbow? I mean, that's a horrible video game choice, especially if you're playing Grand Theft Auto.
Does he just have the crossbow on his back, strapped on while he's doing this? Where did it come from?
I don't know. Was he playing?
So weird.
Was he playing Walking Dead and thought he was Daryl Dixon? What happened with the crossbow choice?
Daryl is my favorite. I mean,
well, evidently this guy was after your own heart there. In a news release, police say they located 52-year-old Harrison Charles, I believe it's Depp, cousin of Johnny, I don't know, of Woodbridge inside a parked vehicle at Potomac Mills Circle near Garza Way at approximately 2:45 p.m. on Thursday. Depp had brandished a gun in an unprovoked encounter with a stranger earlier that day, police said, as well as with another stranger on Wednesday. He's got issues, or had issues, past tense, According to police, officers attempted to negotiate with Depp for several hours on a peaceful surrender. However, as police surrounded his vehicle in order to take him into custody, he ran toward them all, armed with a crossbow. Because that's the quickest way to get your ears pierced at Clarice's, is to use a crossbow. You can butt into the line and they'll do both your ears same time.
I guess.
How do you like that for an obscure reference?
Oddly, I was there not that long ago having my kids get their ears pierced, so
Really?
I can relate. I should have brought a crossbow. It would have been much faster.
See? You could have got all the kids done really quickly if you just would have had a crossbow.
I just wasn't thinking. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yep. The fatal
Next
shooting.
time.
Next time. I like how you stayed optimistic there. Next time I'll bring one.
Yep.
Next time either that or lawn jarts. If you just the old ones, with the sharp tip.
Although I better not. It sounds like it didn't go very well for this gentleman.
That's true. Yeah.
Is this like you sending me the red pop? You trying to get me killed?
No,
Tim?
no. I wasn't trying to kill you. I was just introducing you to a new culture, Jess. That's all.
I'm like, should I step outside and drink this on my front porch and see if I get shot?
No. That wasn't the point.
Now you're like, take your crossbow to Claire's. Come on. Everyone's doing it.
Everyone's doing it. They're jumping the line. You'd be surprised.
Oh.
The fatal shooting took place when Depp was about 20 yards from the entrance to Nordstrom Rack. Oh, see, you want to take it to Nordstrom Rack then. Get some good deals.
I love Nordstrom Rack. They've got good stuff at nice prices.
Yep, see? That's what you want to do. Prince William County Police Chief Peter Newsham said during an evening news conference, according to the Prince William Times, that he said Depp threatened officers several times during the encounter. Don't move or I'll release the arrow! You scurvy knave! Don't make me...
Sounds like a pirate.
Well, what do you do with a crossbow? How do you threaten someone?
I mean, are we sure this isn't Johnny Depp, like, in character? He's a character actor. He might just be, getting ready for a movie.
He's dead now, if he was.
I really liked him.
I'll remove the apple from your head. Don't make me. Newsham has requested that the Regional Critical Incident Response Team, or RCIRT, investigate the police shooting, just making sure it was a good shot, because evidently he wasn't one with his crossbow.
Nope.
Crossbow. Who brings a crossbow to a gunfight?
Who brings a crossbow anywhere except out to your deer stand?
Right. During bow and arrow season is when you would bring that out. Not during shotgun season even. There's a specific season you'd bring it out.
Right. It's only appropriate a short window of time.
Yeah.
In a very specific place.
Right. Not even for what he brought it out for.
No, and you probably smell like deer urine.
Yeah, well, he might have had some in his pocket. I'm guessing the minute he got shot by cops, he pissed himself too.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Probably.
Forsooth, I've been shot, and then he dropped to the ground. In his piratey way. Yeah. I mean, I think he had a theme going on. Pretty sure.
I don't know. He's Robin Hood pirate version. Like he's a hybrid.
Yeah, he was pretty much Robin Hood. That whole deal.
Is he wearing tights?
Yes, he was a man in tights. Speaking of, you knew that Spaceballs 2 is coming out, right?
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah. I'm surprised that Mel Brooks, as old as he is writing it.
Yeah. He wouldn't want to let anyone else do it. That's his baby.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I actually saw something that Mel Brooks is touring.
Really?
Yeah. Like if I saw this right, he's actually doing stand-up. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, like limited dates. Maybe I'm hallucinating. I may be hallucinating, but I thought I saw that he was.
You did say you're really tired today.
I am really tired today. Yeah.
Maybe you're in a lucid dream right now. None of this is really happening.
I don't think that any of this is real. I may be wrong, but I could have swore I saw that he was actually doing limited dates. But then again, I could have been dreaming.
The 2 hours you were sleeping, that was your dream.
That was my dream. Yeah. That Mel Brooks was doing a Shecky Green deal. Take my wife, please. I guess. Who knows? Okay. Our next story, now that I've just rambled on about nothing, speaking of take my wife, please, this almost sounds like a punchline too. A suspect hits over a dozen cars after taking off. Guess what, Jess? Here's a good lesson. If you're working for the fire department in any town, okay? Rule number 1 in the manual for the fire engines in your town, it should probably be what?
First rule, don't light fires.
No, for the fire engines, for the vehicles you're driving. What should the rule number 1 be, other than keep the gas tank full and the water engines, or the water in the engines, keep the water full as well. What should maybe rule number 2 be? Rule number 2 should be what?
Probably don't drive with the ladders extended.
Okay, rule number 3 should be what?
Oh, no, Tim, you took all my rules when you said keep it gassed up and full of water.
Yeah. But a good rule number 3 should probably be...
Don't drink and drive.
Okay, rule number 4 should probably be...
Got all the rules, but none of the right ones. You're just going to have to tell me.
Probably should be remove the keys from the fire engine when you leave the vehicle.
Oh, because someone stole it?
Yes.
What?
Because any guy who ever dreamed of being a fireman and gets somewhat pissed up drunk is probably going to take the fire engine for a spin. And that's what happened in this story.
Ooh.
Yeah. So you probably want to take the keys with you.
I mean, it's one of those things, though, like, yeah, maybe it's your dream, but you're not going to get away with it. It's too conspicuous.
Right. Well, in this case, this suspect who, had one too many Schlitz malt liquors or whatever he was drinking, hit over a dozen cars after taking off in a stolen fire engine in Everett. Just bing, 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 bing. He's playing pinball with these different cars.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. No one, thank God, was injured during the incident, according to the fire department. Although if they were, would they tell you? I mean, I wouldn't. I would be like,
no,
nothing to see here. Sorry.
Let's just pretend none of this ever happened.
Accidentally left the keys in the engine. Didn't mean to. Never will do it again. Nothing to ever see here ever again.
My bad.
Yep. Whoops. We go to Everett, Washington. A suspect hit over a dozen cars after speeding off in a stolen Everett fire engine late Friday night, according to the Everett Fire Department. Police counted at least 5 separate scenes where the suspect damaged cars, landscaping, or street signs. My guess is he's never been in a fire engine before.
They're not so easy to drive.
No. It's not like getting in a little coupe or a nice little convertible and taking a nice little drive around the neighborhood, right? So he went through multiple North Everett neighborhoods at the time. The suspect took off on foot after significantly damaging the fire engine, taking it out of commission completely. So he really hit something bad at the end.
Ooh, yeah, you'd have to take a fire truck out.
Yeah. The fire engine was one of the department's newest in their fleet. So, whoops, sorry about your luck. So, Not only did someone leave the keys in the fire engine, they left the keys in one of the newest ones in the fleet. Double whoops.
Somebody is in trouble.
Yeah. Fire Chief Dave DeMarco said the department is reviewing this incident and examining our policies and procedures to see what, if anything, can be done to help prevent such occurrences in the future. We are thankful that no one was injured in this event. Right. And we remain focused on safeguarding our community and our emergency response capabilities, DeMarco said. We also want to take this opportunity to thank the community for their ongoing support. So please don't throw eggs at us when we drive by in your neighborhood. We are here to serve them, and their trust inspires us to continue our dedication to their safety. An Everett fire crew was responding to a medical emergency at an apartment building on the 2900 block of Hoyt Avenue just after 11 p.m. when the truck was stolen. The crew was returning to their apparatus when they discovered it missing. Oh, how bad would that suck? You're on an emergency.
Worse.
You come out to a medical emergency. You're like, ma'am, we're just wondering if you're okay. You know, you can breathe. Everything's fine. Wonderful. We're glad we could be here. We're glad you're okay. All right, boys, let's get back to the station. It's time to go play some pinochle and eat some beans. Are you ready? Here we go. Where's the truck? And all of a sudden you hear,
Found it.
found it. It's over there, being launched into a building. At that same time, 911 received a call about a hit-and-run incident several blocks north where witnesses reported that the fire engine struck two parked cars at a high rate of speed, then fled the scene. About a minute later, more reports came into 911 that the fire engine plowed into 10 parked vehicles on Marine View Drive before coming to a stop. That's 10 parked vehicles. 10, count them, 10 parked vehicles.
Just enough for all the fingers on my hand.
That's right. 10, count them, 10 parked vehicles. Everett police went to the location where the suspect crashed the truck, when they discovered the suspect had already fled the scene. Police tried to track the suspect down through a canine search, but they were unsuccessful because I'm sure at that point they wanted somebody to bite him in the balls for all the problems he had caused. Police compiled a list of locations where the suspect is believed to have caused damage with the stolen truck. It reads like the 12 Days of Christmas. He struck two parked cars at 2600 Hoyt Avenue. He struck two more parked cars at 1300 Hoyt Avenue. He damaged landscaping trees on the 500 block of Alverson Boulevard. He damaged direction signs, curbing, and grass at the intersection of Alverson Boulevard and West Marine View Drive. He collided in them parked vehicles. He collided with 10 parked vehicles on the 1000 block of East Marine View Drive. The stolen fire engine, which weighs 35,000 pounds, was significantly damaged, prompting the Everett Fire Department to take it out of service. The truck is in a police impound lot, and it's to be used as evidence. I just love
a partridge in a pear tree.
There you go. I just love the details of the story. They're so mad about this that they want every single detail of the story.
That was a lot, though. He wreaked a lot of havoc.
I love how you put that. Wreaked a lot.
Probably like 5 minutes.
He let loose the dogs of war on Everett with that fire engine. Now listen to how upset they are here. Here's the quote, Jess. Losing a fire engine in such a reckless manner not only jeopardizes the safety of our first responders, but also puts our community at risk. Easy there, big guy. It's a fire engine. You can buy another one. I mean, it's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, we can buy another one because ultimately it'll be our money paying for it, right?
It's the taxpayers, right? But you all can get together and pony up for another one. Just be glad nobody got hurt, right?
Yes.
And there's a lot of collateral damage, true. This guy did a lot of collateral damage. But in the end, what you can do as a community is you can get together at the town festival because it's summertime. And you can have a big cookout. And you can basically hang this guy in the town square, and you can hit him like a piñata, and everybody can get a shot. So
yeah, just like the good old days.
Yeah, like the good old days. See,
like the witch trials, only with a guy who stole the truck.
That's right. And you say, "This guy stole our truck, and we're stealing it back." And you get whack, 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 and you can hit him until candy falls out of his nose.
Now let's torture him.
That's right. So see, there's a happy ending here after all.
Not happy for that guy, but
no. Everett Police Chief John DeRoos was getting all whipped up on the pulpit when he was talking about, "We are committed to ensuring the safety of our residents, and any information to help us resolve this incident is crucial." You have the guy. Oh, wait, it sounds like they haven't had the guy yet, or they had the guy. They've arrested him for the OUI. But what are you looking for? I mean, are there pieces of the truck scattered throughout the community that you need to find, or I don't get it.
They're just really, really mad.
He says, "It is imperative that we hold the suspect accountable for their actions, and we will work diligently to bring them to justice." Again, you have a summer festival. You have a rope. You have a stick.
They just really don't want this to happen again. So they want to really drive the point home.
Mm-hmm.
Kids, don't steal the fire truck.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way of demonstrating why you shouldn't.
Yep.
Can you see why everybody's sitting around having a picnic and whack, 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 whack? No kid in their right mind seeing a guy being hit with a stick hundreds of times would ever think about stealing the fire truck ever again.
No, that'll create a little trauma response to fire trucks, actually.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? Everett Fire, by the way, is using a reserve apparatus to make sure the theft doesn't impact emergency services. There you go. By the way, Jess, if you're riding a motorcycle and you're doing this, like you're the king of the world.
Like you're on the front of the Titanic?
Yep. Do you think that you're going to be going very far on that motorcycle?
No, I think I'm going to go flying off the back.
Probably. Police say that one motorcyclist was speeding and reckless when they were doing just that.
Naughty.
Yeah. And guess what state they were in when they were doing it?
Minnesota.
No, Florida. They're in Florida, Jess. They're in Florida. In fact, it was this guy right here who kind of looks like that guy from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
He totally does.
Yeah. No, Ferris.
Yeah.
Yeah, huh. He looks like...
You know, my luck would be if I had my arms out like this and I was riding on the motorcycle, I'd hit like a van with one of my arms and it would just rip my arm off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bloody but true.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why I never stuck my arm out the bus window. The bus driver told us that would happen.
Was your bus driver named Porky too? Because that's what Porky told us on the bus. That's what would happen if we stuck our arm out.
My bus driver's name was Dick Crap.
No, really?
Yes.
How did you get so lucky?
I don't know. He was quite the character. We even got pulled over once on the way home from school because he was speeding.
Yours was too?
Yeah, he was a maniac.
Yeah, Porky got pulled over for speeding too. He ended up, I think I've told it before, the story before here on the show, that he got fired for drinking a Pepsi. They weren't supposed to drink. They weren't supposed to drink while driving at the time.
Oh, I thought maybe that was like code for he had like put something in his Pepsi. But legit.
I think he was. He was drinking a Pepsi while he was on the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little vodka cocktail or rum and Pepsi or.
Yeah, but Porky was cool because we always got wherever we needed to go before you were on time. We were early everywhere. And there was a reason we were early everywhere, because Porky had a lead foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we made sudden stops. And a lot of times when the kids would act up, he'd do the sudden stop. So when a kid was standing up and going, yeah, he'd go wham, and he'd hit the brakes and the kid would hit the seat. It was what we called.
I feel like we had the same bus driver.
Yeah. It was called 80s justice.
True. You can't get away with that anymore.
No. But he'd be like, shut up, wham, and he'd hit the brake and the kid would hit the seat.
Oh, good old days.
Yeah. They don't make them like that anymore. Just saying. Anyways, where were we at? Oh, yes. We're in Florida. A motorcyclist was busted for speeding and reckless driving after a Florida cop spotted him riding hands-free with his arms outstretched like he was Jack on the Titanic. Oh, that's so great. 34-year-old Damon Hankins was going 105 miles per hour when he mimicked Leonardo DiCaprio's I'm the King of the World pose as he sped down Sunday morning on U.S. Route 19. Driving in a 55-mile-per-hour zone, probably not a good idea. With other traffic present, Hankins had both hands off the handlebars when Corporal Jacob Rolliston of the Pinellas Park Police Department observed him traveling at an excessive and dangerous speed. Hankins was arrested on 2 misdemeanor charges and booked into the county jail. The St. Petersburg resident spent about 6 hours in custody before he was freed on $300 bond. Hankins drives a Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R and has posted Instagram videos showing him weaving and white lining through highway traffic. In late May, he uploaded a photo on his motorcycle, which can approach 175 miles per hour with the caption, "Finally gave her a bath and installed the new windscreen. In love with this bike." Well, you're in love with it until you, until you wipe out on it because you don't have any hands,
kidding.
Hankins has previously been cited for driving an unregistered vehicle and driving a vehicle with an expired registration. So he doesn't love it that much that he wants to pay for tabs.
You wouldn't find someone on a Harley pulling that crap. I'll tell you that right now.
That's right. They put both hands on the chopper, just like this.
That's right.
Yeah. And then they drive that thing.
They mean business.
They mean business. You're right, Jeff. All right, one story before we go to our not safe for work territory. Some people love their animals and some people love their animals. And some people love their animals so much they will beat the crap out of you if you dare do anything to hurt an animal. I want you to meet this lady right here. Here she is. She looks like she means business.
Yeah.
Yep.
She looks cute.
Yeah. She also looks like she's got a bit of a disposition on her. This woman attacked a driver that hit and killed a chicken that was crossing the road.
What?
The chicken was just trying to get to the other side. And she was like, "It's not a joke." And then she went after the driver. Let me tell you how.
Wow, that's aggressive.
It is aggressive. We're staying in Florida. We're going to Key West, Jess. A woman who stopped at an intersection to allow a chicken to cross the road because she ain't joking when it comes to chickens crossing the road, man. Allegedly attacked another driver with bear mace for speeding by her and killing the bird.
What?
That's what you get for trying to make a joke out of a chicken crossing the road, man.
Yeah. I mean, that is kind of a jerky move.
It is a jerky move, yeah. According to an arrest report obtained by Law and Crime, 38-year-old Cynthia Sosa stopped at an intersection on July 9th to let a chicken cross the road. And when another driver began honking at her and later passed her and ran over the chicken, let's just say Cynthia lost her chicken shit. Sosa reportedly pursued the driver out of frustration about the chicken's death. Upon catching up to the stopped driver, Sosa allegedly blocked the road in front of the victim's vehicle, got out of her car, and attempted to open their door. You go, Cynthia. They began fighting over the door. The report allegedly said Cynthia wanted to teach her a lesson. So she pulled out her bear mace and sprayed it into the vehicle, spraying the victim directly in the face while she was seated inside. Ooh,
Man.
goddamn. Sosa reportedly fled the scene, but was eventually pulled over by police and taken into custody. She was charged with 2 counts of aggravated battery and 1 count of burglary with assault or battery. Well, why didn't you say, but there's dead dinner on the road?
I did it all for the chicken.
That's right. I did it all for the cock, man. I mean, no, wait. That didn't sound right either. You know. And speaking of, it's time now for our not safe for work category here on the big program. If you have kids listening.
Here we go.
Yeah, if you have kids listening, then you probably already. Oh, wait, no, we have one more story. I'm sorry. One more story.
Oh, we got one more clean one. Okay.
Yeah, one more clean one. And then we can get to it. I jumped the gun on that deal. We're going to North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina, where a woman is accused of stealing local church items donated for Hurricane Helene victims. Asheville police arrested a woman for breaking into a church and stealing items, according to a news release from the Asheville Police Department on Tuesday, July 15th. At 9:14 a.m., officers responded to a call regarding a breaking and entering incident on Otine Church Road that occurred overnight. Police say upon arrival, officers searched the premises and were unable to locate the suspect, but later identified 42-year-old Ellen Margaret Hickman. According to the release, Hickman was on video surveillance entering the church and collecting stolen items when using a wagon that was also stolen from the church to remove the items from the property. As previously reported, the items stolen were blankets, clothes, tools, equipment, food, and other essential items that were donated for Helene victims. Hickman was charged with felony breaking and entering and felony larceny after breaking and entering. Hickman was booked into the, I believe, Buncombe County. Oh, my story skipped on me here. The Buncombe County Detention Facility on July 16th under a $1,000 secured bond. So there you go. All right, now it's time for Not Safe for Work. The rules are simple. Got kids? Stow them away. You got a boss? Stow them away. We don't want them to hear this stuff. That's just for us grown folks, right? We're going to have a little fun here. We're going to do it here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. You got a pretty good friend, Jess, that you work with, right? The two of you are authors together.
Yes, Natalie, my soul sister.
That's right. You pretty much do anything for each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? You ever play any tricks on her? You ever play any pranks?
No. I don't think so.
No?
I do like pranks, but I don't think I've ever played one on Natalie before.
All right. Well, our first story has to do with a man who made his friend strip before parading him through a Welsh village naked. Ever thought of doing that to Natalie?
No.
No? Never.
I would like to travel with her, though. That would be fun.
That'd be fun? Okay. Well, let's get the story on this deal. A man who, I don't think you'd do this to Natalie, no. A man who beat up his friend and made him remove his clothes before parading him naked through the streets has been jailed. I don't think he sounds
like a very good friend.
No, I don't think he's much of a friend, is he? Swansea Crown Court heard that 42-year-old Carl Griffiths attacked his friend and the friend's partner during a gathering at a flat in, is it Penclod? Again, it's one of those Welsh names, and I know I got it wrong. And I'm going to get it. I'm going to get an email. I know I'm going to get an email. But we'll
You're trying so hard, though, Tim.
I really am. On January 30th of this past year, Griffiths, who the judge said was likely under the influence of alcohol or drugs, had taken the phones of the friend and his partner and accused them of stealing from him. The prosecuting lawyer said he then beat them using crutches while shouting abuse at the couple. Ouch. Griffiths then demanded that his friend take his clothes off and told him they were going for a walk. What? I think he was under the influence of something. That's for sure. He proceeded to force his naked friend outside and essentially paraded him naked around the streets in the middle of the village. The ordeal was filmed by onlookers in the village before continuing when they returned to the flat, according to the court. Griffiths then smashed a TV and called police, saying, "Someone better come and get me. I'm going to kill someone." I don't think he was too happy, that's for sure. He was arrested.
Weirdo.
He is a little bit of a weirdo. He was arrested and told police he had gone to his friend's flat after arguing with his mother. Well, that's what got him riled up in the first place. Griffiths admitted to giving his friend a clip and hitting him with a few punches. In an impact statement, which was read to the court by the prosecution barrister, the victim said the experience had a massive impact on his mental health and left him feeling unsafe in his own home. But he added that while the defendant what the defendant did to him and his partner was not right, he did not support the prosecution.
What?
Huh? Griffiths had previously pled guilty to battery, assault occasioning actual bodily harm, criminal damage, and kidnapping when he appeared in the dock for sentencing. The court heard he had a substantial criminal history, including non-domestic burglaries, dishonesty matters, weapons offenses, and supplying Class A drugs. James Hartson, acting for Griffiths, said whatever grievance the defendant may have had with his friend, it could not remotely justify the level of humiliation and violence handed out. He said he had seen the mobile phone footage of the incident and said it was clear the victim was distressed and he was marched through the center of Penclawd in a state of undress. Judge Hugh Rees said Griffith's behavior had been irrational and probably done under the influence of drink and drugs, but added it was clear from references he had read that other people thought well of the defendant and rewarded him as a kindly man. Griffiths was sentenced to 31 months in prison. His barrister said he had hoped his friend would eventually forgive him. Okay. I'm sure he will eventually, maybe.
Maybe.
It sounds like maybe he already had.
Yeah. I suppose I could forgive. I probably wouldn't hang out with that person on purpose again.
No.
Like, I'm not mad at you, but...
Eventually the anger wears off, but forgiveness is a little harder to come by, right?
Yeah. And I forgive your actions, but we're not going to be drinking buddies anymore.
Right.
Parade me once around town naked. Shame on you. Parade me twice.
Shame on me. Because then it's all on me, right?
Like I wanted it.
Yeah, like I was asking for it the second time. First time you got me. Second time I got me.
Yeah, first time that was really unexpected. Second time, I should have saw it coming.
Second time, I might have enjoyed it the first time, and maybe I was thinking I might want to try it a second time and see if I was really into it.
Yeah, all I know is if I hang out with that guy again, I'm definitely working out every day, in preparation
I'm working
for
out every
the walk.
day. I'm getting myself really toned. I'm getting my core in shape,
I'm going to get my sunless tan on. I'm going to look so good.
I might do a little body sculpting,
Yeah, I'm going to be like, no, I don't like this, but check me out.
Yeah. If people are going to notice me, they're going to notice me.
Might as well look good while I'm being humiliated.
That's right. Oh, I'm glad we're of the same mind, Jess.
Oh, yes.
Well, then I'm glad this next story won't be too much of a shock. This one comes to us from Tony.
Oh, Tony.
Tony's trying to absolutely shock us this week, and I don't blame him. I must add, I saw this story before Tony sent it to us. He just reaffirmed that we should read this story this week.
It was a must read. Okay.
It was a must read. We go to Thailand, where a Thai woman is arrested for blackmailing monks with thousands of videos after having sex with them. Yes, it turns out that monks aren't necessarily celibate.
I think my brain just like aneurysm.
Right? Didn't your head explode when you heard that?
What?
When the words Dalai Lama getting his freak on enter into your head, you go, uh-huh. Right.
Oh, wow.
Oh, this story gets weird, Jess, if you're ready for this. Thai police have arrested a woman who allegedly had sexual relations with monks. This is plural, Jess, plural. And then used photos and videos of the acts to extort money from them. The woman, who police are calling Ms. Golf, maybe because they put it in so many holes, I don't know why the name is Ms. Golf.
A good one.
Had sex with at least 9 monks. 9 monks. Yes. But wait until you find out what she got for that. I mean, you know, it's
okay.
We're going to call this little game The Price is Right, because she got away with many, many great prizes at the end of this deal.
Wow.
Police said at a press conference on Tuesday, they believe that she received around 385 million baht, or $11.9 million. Mm-hmm.
What?
Over the past,
keep quiet?
Over the past 3 years for having sex with these 9 monks.
Wow. How do they have so much money?
There's a lot.
They like gave up all their worldly possessions and they're just living, you know, in this quiet, you know, life without anything.
But there's a lot of money that's given to the church.
Yeah, and that's where it's going, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Don't forget to tithe, my friends.
That's right. Don't forget your 10%. Investigators who searched her house found more than 80,000 photos and videos used to blackmail the monks.
I wonder if they knew that she was videotaping it and they were like into it. And
I think they were. Yeah, I think at one point
she's like, no, this is just for me.
That's right. This is just for us, baby. That's all. The scandal is the latest to rock Thailand's much revered Buddhist institution, which in recent years has been plagued with allegations of monks engaging in sex offenses and drug trafficking. Yeah, chew on that for a minute. There's drug trafficking in there too.
I can kind of see the sex thing because that's just kind of like human nature. And when you tell someone they totally can't, they're going to want to, right? But drug trafficking?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you can't snort coke either. Are you kidding me?
Now I need it. Now I need it bad.
Now I need cocaine to get closer to Buddha. Police said the case first came to their attention in mid-June when they learned that an abbot in Bangkok had suddenly left the monkhood after being extorted by a woman. Ms. Gulf had a relationship with the monk in May of 2024, according to police. She later claimed to have his baby and demanded child support of more than 7 million baht.
Whoa.
Ms. Golf is not my lover. She's just a girl who said that I am the one.
The kid is not my son.
There you go. Authorities then discovered that other monks had similarly transferred money to Ms. Golf, which police called her modus operandi. Yes, she has a modus operandi, ladies and gentlemen. Police added that they found that nearly all of the money had been withdrawn and some of it had been used for online gambling. So she's gambling it away.
There's so many sins happening in this story.
Yes, there are. When investigators searched Ms. Golf's home earlier this month, they seized her phones and found more than 80,000 photos and videos that she had used to blackmail the monks. She's facing multiple charges, including extortion, money laundering, and receiving stolen goods. The police have also opened a hotline for people to report misbehaving monks. It's an epidemic, Jess. By the way,
I love this story so much.
By the way, Misbehaving Monks, the name of our new band.
Yes.
Yes.
definitely need that on a t-shirt too.
Yes, misbehaving monks. The scandal has prompted the Sangha Supreme Council, the governing body of Thai Buddhism, to say it will form a special committee to review monistic regulations. I almost said monastatic, but that's something else entirely. Monistic regulations. The government is also pushing for monastatic is what Miss Gulf needed after blackmailing 9 monks, if you know what I mean. The government is also pushing for harsher penalties, including fines and jail time for monks who breach the monastic code. This week, Thailand's King Vajiralongkorn, that's his name, revoked a royal command he had issued in June conferring higher titles to 81 monks. He cited the recent cases of misconduct, which he had said have caused Buddhists to suffer greatly in their minds. Well, and maybe in their loins, too. We're not quite sure. In Thailand, where there are more than 90% of the population identifying as Buddhist, monks are highly revered. Many Thai men also choose to temporarily ordain as monks to accumulate good karma. But the Buddhist institution has been plagued by scandals in the recent past. Weerapul Sukphul, you heard me right, a jet-setting monk known for his lavish lifestyle, made international headlines in 2017 when he was charged with sex offenses, fraud, and money laundering. And in 2022, a temple in the northern province of Phetchabun was left without any monks, after all 4 of its monks were arrested in a drug raid and were disrobed.
I think they might have liked that part, though, being disrobed.
Yeah, I think they kind of wanted a little disrobing.
I'm just sitting here wondering, do I not understand what a monk is? Aren't they kind of like priests in the Catholic Church where they give up their worldly goods?
Right.
And like, how can a monk living a lavish lifestyle be a thing? They're
supposed to be chaste, but yeah, you're right.
So weird.
Yeah, they've totally gone against it in this. Despite years of criticism about disciplinary and accountability issues within the Thai Sangha, many say there have been little real change in the centuries-old institution. A big part of the problem lies with its strict hierarchy, say experts. It is an authoritarian system similar to the Thai bureaucracy, where senior monks are like high-ranking officials and junior monks are their subordinates. Religious scholar Surafat, I believe it is Tawiska, told BBC Thai. When they see something inappropriate, they do not dare to speak up because it is very easy to be kicked out of the temple. But some see ongoing investigations, both by the police and the Sangha Council, as a key step to push ahead with some much-needed reform. The important thing is to reveal the truth so that the public can ease their doubts about the innocence of the Sangha, said Prakarati Satasut, who is a sociology scholar at Bangkok's Thammasat University. It depends on whether the Supreme Sangha Council will cut off some arms and legs to save the organization. And that, Chess, is how rotten down to the root right now the whole Buddhist community is in Bangkok.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Isn't it something? Okay, we've got, I think, 2 more stories here, and then we've got our palate cleanser today. A little handcuff play going on in, I think this is Louisiana. A pervert invites cops into his home and handcuffs ensue. A 60-year-old Louisiana man had child sex dolls in his bedroom.
No, they shouldn't even make those.
But they do.
Ew.
Yeah. After calling police in to complain that a woman had refused to leave his home, a Louisiana man, unsure if the alleged trespasser was still inside, asked officers to search the property and clear his residence. That's a quote. Cops agreed to sweep the West Monroe home of 60-year-old Marcus Guillory in search for the woman known as Aretha, and not Aretha Franklin, evidently. But instead of locating Aretha, investigators discovered 3 child-sized sex dolls in Guillory's bedroom, according to a probable cause affidavit. The dolls were found lying on and near the bed.
Ew.
Yeah, I know.
They were all sticky.
By the way, this is what Mr. Guillory looks like. It's
Oh, Mr. Guillory, you're a disgusting man.
yeah, he looks a little skeevy to begin with. Upon finding the dolls, police obtained a warrant to search Guillory's home. During the execution of the search warrant, an anatomically correct sex doll of an infant and 2 anatomically correct dolls which resembled a child under the age of 13 were recovered. Where do you even find those?
No, they should just set this guy on fire.
Just
Be done with it.
Pour gas on him and light a match?
If you have a sex doll that is a baby,
Yeah.
no, no.
That all reported by Officer Justin Cummings. Probably the wrong guy to call out on that investigation. I'm just saying. I'm just laying that out there right now, Jess. Right?
Oh, why? Why does that have to be his name?
I don't know. During police questioning, Guillory reportedly admitted ownership of the 3 dolls, which he purchased online. That's where you get them, evidently. And stated he has had sex with each of the dolls multiple times.
Oh.
Guillory, cops say, also admitted to piercing the nipples of the child dolls. You?
I don't even have words.
Yeah, you're right. Set him on fire. Guillory was arrested for possessing, trafficking, or importing of a child sex doll, which is a felony. He was also charged with possession of marijuana or drug paraphernalia. Guillory's rap sheet includes busts for theft, battery, forgery, and narcotics possession. Despite that criminal history, Guillory did not hesitate to invite police into his home for a look around. The quintessential dumb criminal, right? I mean, you can't.
He might have killed a few brain cells over the years or something.
He had to have.
I mean, wow. What are the odds that someone who owns sex dolls that are child size has not perpetrated on a child? I feel like he probably has more crimes than we're aware of.
Yeah, the dolls are, I hate to put it this way because it's a rude way of putting it, but the dolls are a warm up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's done.
Ugh.
Yeah. Guillory is being held in the local parish jail in advance of a district court appearance scheduled for this afternoon. I'll tell you this much. It's a good thing they got him now. I mean, there's no way that he's just practiced on the dolls and never caught a human child.
I mean, he's planning it at the very least.
Yes, at the very least. But yeah.
But an infant? How sick are you? That's so... But I'm not advocating for actually setting people on fire.
No. In this case, yes, set them on fire. I know. I'm fully with you on this. Yeah.
It just seems like if we can cook innocent women as witches, we can set a pedophile on fire.
Yeah. Or hang him by his balls in the town square and use him as a piñata.
Something. Yeah.
No, I'm all for it. Yeah. I'm not even joking. I'm all for it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no punishment that's too extreme, I think, in that case. So yeah.
I feel that way. I mean, freaking a baby? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. You better have a palate cleanser for me.
I do. Well, we have one more story and then the palate cleanser. I didn't end on that one. I didn't end on that one. No, the one I'm ending on. Let's just say we had some thunderstorms today.
Yes.
Yes. A little bit of rain to start our day. We've got some showers to end our day. Some showers of a different kind. Turns out the cops arrested an ad executive for a golden shower.
Okay.
as he looks like the type, decided he was going to give everybody a little bit of a sprinkle from a rooftop bar.
Wow. Why, sir?
Some people just need that power, Jess. Some people just need
Yes.
that power. Of course, we're going to Florida to end our day today. In the Florida version of a golden shower, a New York advertising executive was arrested early Saturday for allegedly urinating from a rooftop bar onto several victims below. 30-year-old Matthew Day was busted for disorderly conduct following a 1:30 a.m. incident at the Landing. And yes, it did. A downtown St. Petersburg night spot that describes itself as an elevated hangout. Yes, it did. Balcony bar. Cops charged that Day entered the rooftop bar, pulled out little Day out of his shorts, and urinated from the balcony onto the sidewalk and hit several passersby with urine.
Oh, sterile, Tim. It's fine. It's sterile.
We had this talk. It's sterile, it's fine. It's sterile, it's fine. It's sterile, it's fine.
That's what I'd be telling myself anyway.
Security spotted Day relieving himself and escorted the defendant out of the bar into police custody. A criminal complaint, which noted that Day showed an indication of alcohol influence, does not address if victims peed upon received medical treatment.
I don't know if I would need medical treatment. I would just want a nice hot shower.
What if he's got Hep C?
I mean, as long as you didn't get in your eyes or your mouth, probably fine.
Oh, you just brought it up a notch. You're walking along and you're having a great day and la 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 la, and you're singing and right in the old kisser. Or you're going to take a drink of something and the pee hits you before the liquid you're drinking. Or maybe you're like, oh, what a beautiful morning, and then right there in the old mouth. Or, I don't know, maybe you're going, maybe you're walking on the street and you got one of those wonderful street tacos or whatever it is you're eating, or street food, or you just went to a food truck. You're going to take a bite of and then you and the food, boom, you both get pissed on. And
Yep. That's what you get for being so happy, Tim. Walking around singing. Get heat in the mouth.
get a little skeet in your meat, and all of a sudden, and then you bite into it. Then what?
That's unfortunate. I mean, I get it, though. As a guy, if I was a guy, I have 4 brothers, and I've always been jealous of their ability to pee any old where that they want. Just being able to write their name in the snow if they want to. Girls can't do that. I can't say I wouldn't want to pee out a window if I could.
Never just tried it? Just tried to pee out in the snow? Just gotten creative.
Can you imagine? Just squatting out there trying to move around just right.
Well,
like I just demonstrated that for you.
You were twerking with tissue boxes the last time we talked. I don't know. Maybe there's some unusual hip movements you have.
No, but somebody said there was like some device that you can get that you can use to pee standing up. And the brothers were like, we need to get that for Jess.
There's like a Whizzinator type deal. Yeah. Do you remember the Whizzinator scandal with the Vikings?
No, I don't.
There's a thing that athletes use for clean urine. So when if they've got dirty urine from using steroids or drugs or whatever, it's a fake penis you use, and it's got clean urine loaded in it. So you can fool, because they have a drug tester that stands right next to them. So you strap on the fake penis that's got the clean urine in it, and you hit a button that's on the underside of it, and it drops the clean urine into the cup. And then you hand them the clean urine, right? And it's called a Whizzinator.
Huh.
But
Is it weird that I want one?
But they do have I forget what the device is for women, it's like a cup and funnel device. And
something like that.
Cup, funnel, and tube. Yeah.
But now that you've said the Whizzinator, I need the penis with it now. I need to have my own unit.
You need to have your own unit so you could just, yeah. But they
Needs to look real.
They do have the device, and I think it's got like a tube that comes off it. It's like a cup and a tube, and it's essentially it does the same thing. Yeah. So you can go outside. It doesn't
seem very fair. You guys get to have all the fun.
Oh, I don't know that it's fun. The thing shrieks like a gilded lily when you're out in the pool and it's cold.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages, Jess.
But you can pee standing up. I don't know why. Just sounds fun.
Okay, but I hate to have this talk now before we get to the end of the story, but here's the deal.
Yeah.
You can't regulate pressure.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So, like in the middle of the night, you get up, okay? And you're like peeing standing up is a great thing? No. Because imagine this, okay? You know when you turn on a hose and the hose and it shoots out, that's a great thing, and the hose is going. Well, you know what happens when you turn off a hose all of a sudden, and then it goes from a strong stream to, and then it just drips. And then when it drips, it kind of gets all over everything.
That's why you guys make messes all the time.
There you go. See?
That's
why you pee all over the seat.
Darn it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, I just thought you guys were lazy.
No.
It's not your fault.
Right. Because you can't control the stream at the end. Because all of a sudden you cut the flow, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like making a mess. That's true.
God didn't create a perfect ejection system for the whole at the end there, right? He thought, you know what? We'll make it so we can pee standing up. Yeah. And then he went, wait a minute. What do we do at the end there? There was no like pneumatic air system at the end to get the rest out, right?
You just dribble.
Yeah, you just dribble. Just shut up.
Your mom comes in and cleans your bathroom and says, dang it, Logan. I mean, insert any boy's name.
It's like, I forget who it was who told LeBron to just shut up and dribble, but that's what we do at the end. We just shut up and dribble. And it gets all over the seat.
Oh.
So,
well, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not as fun as you think it is.
It's not that great, huh?
No. I mean, in closed circuit, to a lot of you ladies out there, sometimes in the middle of the night when you wake up and you're all woozy and you probably could wake up and that fire hose could piss all over the wall because you really don't have your balance. I mean, especially when you're older. I mean, you probably could paint the walls if it's dark and you don't want to turn on the light.
Yeah.
Sometimes we sit down. I'm just saying.
It's just easier, I suppose.
Yeah. So there's nothing to get excited about.
All right. Well, there goes my dreams.
Yeah, that's okay. It's okay to sit down. Sometimes sitting down's best. Yeah. So for our phantom shooter here on the roof, he was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct on the premises of a licensed establishment, a misdemeanor. He was released from the county jail on $500 bond. Day is a Penn State grad who is co-founder of Ribeye Media and the firm's head of client success.
Oh, no.
I'm guessing he pissed up a rope and pissed his way to the top. Right? That's according to LinkedIn and other online listings. Which was I guess Ribeye, listen to me rubbing one out. Ribeye Media was founded in 2023 and offers cutting-edge programmatic advertising solutions tailored for the local media marketplace. Which sounds like a lot of bullshit to me. I don't know about you, but yeah.
And as an added bonus, we can pee off of roofs.
That's right.
Out windows.
That's how we get our message out. We just we dribble it onto you. Day did not respond to a message seeking comment that was sent to his firm's website. Of course they didn't, because they're not going to give you the time of day. All right, it's time now for our palate cleanser, because if you had your mouth pissed in, you probably want something to clean it out with too.
Some Listerine, Tim.
Yeah, some Listerine or something. We're going to Minot, North Dakota. Jess. In our first 2 stories, and they're quick ones. As you know, I have an affinity for furry little creatures.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out one of them is trying to take over the world, and they're starting with Minot, North Dakota.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Squirrels?
Yes.
Chipmunks?
Ground squirrels
Aww.
are trying to take over a North Dakota city, and officials are not amused. I am. I think it's hilarious.
I think it's adorable. I want to move there.
Yeah, here's a picture of one of them right here. He's trying to lead the troops. He's like, I'm moving forward.
Yes. Let's go, Tim. I'll wear the Cinderella costume. You can wear the Snow White. We'll just dance around with the little chipmunks and squirrels.
And we'll lead them. We'll like, forward. We'll take over the government building. Squirrels are exasperating the people of Minot, burrowing everywhere from vacant lots to the middle of town. Well, here's how you get them together. You just take a giant bucket of peanuts, you put it in the center of town, and trap them all.
Right.
It's not tough.
Release them out in the wild somewhere where they can be happy little family.
That's right. It's not tough, kids. I mean, it's not tough to outthink a squirrel. They just want food. Problem solved.
Yeah.
You're welcome. The Richardson's ground squirrel weighs less than a pound. It's about a foot long, and it's native to the northern plains. The little creature it says it's a ferocious tunneler. That's also my nickname from college, just saying. And it's exasperating the people of Minot, North Dakota, where it's burrowing everywhere from vacant lots to the middle of town and growing more plentiful over the past 2 decades. But now North Dakota's 4th largest city is fighting back. Even the pest control guy leading the charge acknowledges that it will be difficult to turn the tide against the rodent. Oh, they're not killing them, are they? Oh. Joshua Herman said fighting the squirrels is akin to one guy standing against a massive storm. Oh, get real. If I'm trapping but my neighbor isn't, well, then we're not really going to get anywhere with it long term, Herman said. Ground squirrels have been an issue in Minot, a city of nearly 50,000 people, for at least 20 years. But the problem has dramatically worsened in the last few years, said Minot Street Department Superintendent Kevin Broughton. It's unclear how many of the squirrels live in Minot, but it likely nears or even exceeds the city's population. Gosh, there's got to be tens of thousands of them in the area, Herman said. Officials in the city, a green spot along the winding Souris River, surrounded by farmland and grassy prairie, know that they can't get rid of the squirrels, but hope to simply get the rodent numbers down. I don't see the population ever going to zero, Broughton said. I mean, it's almost impossible by the numbers that we have. Put another way, Minot won't be able to get rid of the squirrels because the animals have lived on the prairie for centuries. Outside of town, predators like coyotes, badgers, owls, and even snakes love to dine on the squirrels. But in residential neighborhoods and even downtown where few of the predators live, the rodents can roam pretty freely. Greg Gullickson, an outreach biologist with the North Dakota Game and Fish Department, adds that the squirrels now have fewer grassland areas available to them and like the mowed spots that they find in town. Female squirrels typically give birth to litters of about 6 babies a year, so it's easy to see how their numbers can quickly soar. Herman said he kills about 3,500 to 5,000 of them a year. I think he's a braggart.
That's a lot. You can make a lot of squirrel chili with that.
Well, yeah. I mean, just deep fried squirrel alone, you could probably feed the entire town.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says primarily by putting snares and carbon monoxide into the holes and using an air rifle.
Oh, sad.
I think he's bragging. I don't think he kills that many a year. He says
very like, what's that Bill Murray character?
Yeah.
Like trying to get the
Caddyshack.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but
Cinderella story coming out of nowhere.
That's what I'm envisioning right now.
Yeah. I've had calls downtown, calls in the mall, along the highways here at the airport, really every part of the city, and I've done trapping for ground squirrels here in Minot, Herman said as he checked his traps along a apartment building and shoveled dirt over holes. Yeah, because that'll get them.
I can't get out of that.
Yeah. You'll never get out of that dirt alive. Herman said they damage driveways, sidewalks, and lawns, create tripping hazards with their holes, and can harbor disease from fleas. Along an apartment building, the squirrels had dug under a concrete slab and against the foundation. Nearby in a vacant lot, the rodents popped in and out of holes, because that's what they do. Let's skip ahead here in the story and let you know that still not everyone sees the squirrels as a pest. Some find the critters cute and fuzzy. Herman said people have sabotaged, stolen, and even thrown out his traps. Huh? Wink.
Just see this guy. I just really can see him in my brain.
He's like, hey, stop throwing away my traps. They occasionally confront him when he shoots at ground squirrels with an air rifle, scolding him for hurting the wildlife, he said. They get that cute association, and they are, adorable, but they're a vermin and a pest and dangerous when they are allowed to proliferate. Or
dangerous.
Or he'd say, they get that cute association, they're adorable, they're vermin, they're pests, and they're dangerous. They're allowed to proliferate there, and
Next thing you know, they're on the corner selling drugs to your kids and knocking up your daughter.
That's right, but I'm going to blackmail them, Jess. I got about 80,000 videos on them. So, I'm going to blackmail them and make them leave town.
Are these monk squirrels now, Tim?
Yeah, they're monk squirrels. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to blackmail them, tell them they got to leave town. It's me or them. That's what I'm going to do. And finally, Jess, today I want to wish you a very happy Take a Monkey to Lunch Day.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, today is Take a Monkey to Lunch Day as we're taping today's show. If you didn't take a monkey to lunch today, shame on you. But it is every July 21st, Take a Monkey to Lunch Day.
Where do I get a monkey to take to lunch?
I'm not quite sure. I have a Curious George doll.
Oh, I do too. That would work.
That would work. So you could take your Curious George doll to lunch. It was originally created to celebrate and bring awareness to monkeys and all things simian. The holiday considers apes, tarsiers, lemurs, and other non-human primates to bring light to different types of primates around the world. The holiday helps spread useful information about the issues that the animals endure as a species. The awareness helps to eventually provide more stable environments to animals and helps them lead better lives. Environmental activists are very passionate about the holiday. It is a favorite for many people because people love intelligent primates. And by the way, they don't rip your face off. I don't like that. I don't like that rumor.
Yeah. Not usually, right? They just throw a little poop at you.
I don't like that rumor either. They don't necessarily throw poop at you.
Well, if they're mad, don't piss them off, and then you're fine.
The history of Take a Monkey to Lunch Day, by the way. Take a Monkey to Lunch Day has been celebrated every year on July 21st for 25 years, since 2000. It's a day that is used to celebrate monkeys and other primates. The holiday is widely supported by environmental activists, art institutions, and visual artists. Some major supporters include the Louvre Museum, National Geographic, the Smithsonian Institution, Greenpeace, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, London's National Portrait Gallery, and Jane Goodall, who probably has a whole lot of fucking monkeys to take to lunch.
It just has like 30 monkeys on her arms.
Right? I mean, she probably spends a whole lot of money in feed.
I would think so. Lots of bananas.
Yeah. And then some. Many zoos around the world celebrate the day by hosting a special Take a Monkey to Lunch Day event. The event is actually shared more information about monkeys and the experiences they go through. There are also performances by monkeys who can take intelligence tests. And there are also auctions of artwork that were created by chimps. Would you like to own some artwork by a chimp, Jeff?
I would love that.
See. Some zoos offer social banana-themed food options during the holiday. There's also interesting activities that take place to honor animals around the world. The holiday is also an opportunity for us to be mindful of the realities that monkeys face. There are intelligent primates who live alongside of us. Some of us had to work with them for years at different radio stations. I'm just saying. So it is important to provide them with as much care and support as we can. Support for the holiday goes into improving the lives of monkeys all around the world. They're able to live in conducive environments and have access to resources that they need to survive. The holiday also ensures that they can get access to medical help from vets whenever it is needed. So there you go. Take a monkey to lunch day. I hope you enjoyed it.
That's a perfect one to end on.
Yeah. By the way, do you know the first year that monkeys first appeared in books?
No. Was it Curious George? Was he the first?
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know the
I'm
year?
trying to think. I somewhere in the back of my brain, I do know when that book came out, but I can't think of it.
It was 1941. That's when Curious George made his debut in books.
Oh, Georgie.
And the first year that monkeys went to space was 1959. Two monkeys named Ms. Baker and Abel were the first monkeys to make a successful launch and return to space.
Oh.
Then shortly after...
Astronauts.
Yep. Shortly after, as they were returning back into orbit, they went, ah, because they realized they were going to die. So that ends our program for today.
Oh, you're such a stinker.
I know. Hey, speaking of, one of my all-time favorite funny SNL skits was in the last few years. Have you seen the one skit having to do with the one monkey who, I forget what the name of the skit is, but they send the monkey up into space and he's semi-intelligent and he can type on a computer, and it's like the dogs who have the buttons, the talking buttons. Yeah. But the monkey...
I don't know if I've seen that one.
You haven't? But the monkey, it was when John Mulaney was hosting.
Yeah.
And so Mulaney's got the headset and he's talking to the monkey, and they realize that the monkey has gone off course. He's flying the spaceship. He's in the spaceship. And the monkey's gone off course, and they're not going to be able to get him back and get him back to Earth. And they're trying to tell him that he's going to die. And so he's like, monkey can't wait to get home. And he's typing it in the computer, and they're like, oh, sorry, buddy. You're not going to get home. And he's like, light going out? And he's like, I'm sorry, light going out.
Oh, it's sad.
And they have that sad moment. And then he realizes he can get home, and he's like, they figure out a trajectory to turn him around and get him home. So they're giving him the coordinates, and he's punching it in, and then it looks just like he didn't make it, and then he miraculously comes back. And he steals Mulaney's wife, and he ends up doing her on the floor. It's kind of a funny bit. I can't do it justice, but it's you
have to find it.
Yeah,
watch it.
I'll have to find it and send it to you, because it's one of the funniest bits SNL's ever done, but it's one that Mulaney wrote. But it's basically it's just making fun of the space program and the fact that they don't know how to manage the monkey thing, but just, playing on the whole monkey humanity thing.
It's funny.
Speaking of monkeys and humanity, Travis Thorpe is in with us tomorrow, that big monkey. And he'll be in for Supernatural News. And then we continue the monkey theme on Thursday.
Ooh.
As we're talking Bigfoot.
Yay.
Yeah. So that's the entire week.
That's a whole lot of monkeys this week.
Whole lot of monkeys. So that'll do it here. What have you got going on, Jess?
Oh, not much, Tim. Just writing books. And of course, if anyone wants to get them, you can find them on my website or Amazon. If you want one signed, send me a message and I'll get it to you.
Sounds good. All right. That'll do it for today. Again, folks, Travis is in tomorrow for Supernatural News, and then we will be talking Bigfoot on Thursday. So that'll do it for today. Thank you so much, folks. We appreciate you watching and listening us today. Quick reminder, we want you to go to darknessradioshow.com, the events page. Want you to check out not only the Palmer House event that's going on August 1st and 2nd. We're raising money for the animal shelter there in St. Cloud. There's just 1 or 2 tickets left for potographs for pooches up there. We want to sell those out. We want to get that money to the animal shelters there. But also want you to check out and think about the possibility of spending Halloween at Dracula's Castle, Bran Castle, with Dacre Stoker, the great-grandnephew of Bram Stoker himself. Those tickets are going quick, and those spots are going quick for that tour. There is a special link for you to follow at darknessradioshow.com/events. Go to, again, darknessradioshow.com/events. Click on that link. Check it out. You can split it out over 10 payments. It's 12 days in Romania, and over the Halloween season, you're going to have a great time. You're going to have the time of your life. Check it out for yourself. That'll do it for today. We'll see you tomorrow for Supernatural News with Travis Thorpe. For Jessica Freeberg, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for tuning in to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday.